Every season when the Baltimore Ravens start stacking wins or dropping games, there is always one topic that circles back into the spotlight like it never left. That offensive line. It has been the heartbeat, the question mark, the source of frustration, and the reason behind many of the conversations around the team, and lately, it feels like that group up front is carrying the weight of the entire offense on its shoulders, as the coaching staff tries to figure out how to get things moving again. What caught everyone's attention this week was how the head coach hinted that something might shift in the trenches. It was not exactly a declaration, but it was enough to spark conversation. That casual mention that any approach is possible, that nothing is off the table, suddenly had fans wondering whether the team is actually considering some kind of rotation for a group that has been up and down all year. That comment was like striking a match in a room full of gas fumes. The Ravens have rolled into a crucial stretch with 4 of their next 6 games coming against rivals inside their division. And those are the kinds of matchups where every inch matters. The defense has been carrying the load lately, grinding through tough opponents and keeping the team in position to win even when the offense sputters. And yes, the offense has been sputtering. The quarterback has fought through a long stretch of inconsistent play, and that inconsistency always points back to the same place, the line. When the pockets collapse quickly or blocks break down in the run game, the entire offensive rhythm falls apart. That's why the coach's words about being open to changes hit differently this time. A young lineman was active for the first time this season, dressed and ready, even if he never saw the field. When the head coach was asked why the rookie was up but not used, the answer was simple and vague. He was part of the group, ready if needed, and they would see where things go from here. The follow-up question asked whether a rotation could be in play, and the response was familiar. Absolutely everything is an option. If they need to rotate, they will. If they need to shake things up, they will. And yes, he reminded everyone that the team experimented with rotations years ago, when almost nobody else in the league was doing it. Now, every Ravens fan has heard that phrase enough times to know it does not necessarily mean a change is coming. The coach often leaves the door open without walking through it. Still, because of how shaky the group has been, the possibility suddenly feels real. Some fans love the idea of rotating players to keep them fresh or find the right combination. Others absolutely hate it. Many want a single 5-man unit that plays every snap together and builds chemistry the old-fashioned way, but with the way things have unfolded this season, nobody can deny that something has felt off, and the rookie being active, especially over a veteran who had been considered a fallback option, said a lot. The veteran guard who once looked like a possible contributor has now slipped so far down the depth chart that a rookie with 0 professional snaps jumped ahead of him. That raises questions about why the team brought the veteran back, and what exactly the coaching staff expected from him this year. The fact that the rookie even entered the conversation is a sign that the coaches might be closer to experimenting than they are letting on. During warm-ups before the last game, that rookie was seen taking reps at left guard, and that detail alone got fans buzzing. That position has been unstable all year, and the current starter has gone through rough stretches that make him a clear candidate for replacement if the coaching staff truly decides to shake things up. If the rookie were to step in, even for small portions of the game, it could change the dynamic of the entire interior line. Many fans expected him to get his first professional snaps during the closing minutes of the last game, when the outcome was already settled, but it never happened. Maybe the coaches did not want his first reps to come in a low-pressure moment. Maybe they were not fully comfortable yet, or maybe they just did not want to show anything before this short week. That is the tricky part. With a Thursday matchup coming up, it is hard to imagine major changes being made on such a tight turnaround. The team usually treats these short weeks as survival mode. Stick to what you know, stick to the players who have played, try to get through it, and reassess afterward. But once this week is behind them, once they hit that mini break, that might be the moment they consider testing something different if the struggles continue. What makes this conversation even louder is how inconsistent the group has been. One guy plays well, another falls apart, and the whole unit looks disjointed. That is not how offensive lines function. They need to move like a single organism. When a stunt comes, everyone needs to shift together. When pressure comes, they need to communicate instantly. When a run play is called, they have to fire off the line with the same timing. Right now, that unity has been missing. Some grades from the last performance painted a very clear picture. A couple players held steady, but others struggled significantly. And the run blocking grades were especially rough across the board. It is almost impossible for this offense to reach its full potential if the ground game cannot find rhythm without consistent push up front. The quarterback ends up taking all the pressure, and that pressure has caught up to him physically. The quarterback has been dealing with a carousel of injuries this season, and each week introduces a new one. Hamstring, knee, ankle, and now a toe. It feels like the guy cannot finish a game without limping at some point, and anyone watching can see that he is fighting through something. When the offense avoids specific run concepts that used to be staples of their identity, it becomes clear that the coaching staff is trying to protect him. That hesitation has drained a huge part of the offense's explosive potential. The team needs the quarterback's legs to be a threat, even if he does not run. The defense has to believe he might. When that belief disappears, defenders start crashing down on the running backs without hesitation, and the offense becomes predictable. Earlier in the season, especially in that game where he kept the defense guessing with well-timed decisions on option plays, everything clicked. But lately, that dimension has vanished. The constant pressure he has felt, combined with the lack of consistent protection, has created a perfect storm, and whether the coaches admit it or not, the offensive line struggles have absolutely contributed to his physical state. When he keeps getting hit, of course the injuries pile up. When the run game cannot support him, he takes more responsibility, and when the responsibility becomes too heavy, mistakes start creeping in. If the Ravens want this offense to make the jump they expected this year, the line has to get back to the level it played at last season. They do not need to be the best line in football. They just need to be solid, synchronized, and reliable. They need to give the quarterback space to breathe. They need to open lanes for the backs so the coaches feel confident calling everything in the playbook again. The conversation around the Ravens right now isn't just about inconsistency or execution anymore. It has evolved into a bigger, heavier concern: durability. Every week the injury report grows, and every week it feels like the quarterback is battling something new. Seeing him take hits, get up slowly, shake out his leg, flex his ankle, or walk gingerly after a scramble has become an uncomfortable pattern. And when a player who depends so heavily on his mobility starts stacking injuries, it changes the entire dynamic of the offense. When the week began and the team released its estimated participation from the walkthrough, another new issue appeared beside his name: a toe injury added to the list of the hamstring, knee, and ankle complications that have followed him for weeks. You do not need to be a doctor to know that toes are critical for planting, exploding, shifting weight, and accelerating. For a quarterback who thrives on using his legs to escape pressure, extend plays, and keep defenses guessing, that kind of discomfort is almost impossible to ignore. Even if he says he cannot tell how much it affects him, the way he moves tells its own story. The hesitation on certain plays, the lack of designed runs, the absence of those read option moments where he usually attacks the edge with confidence. The offense looks like it is missing a piece because, frankly, it is. And without that element, defensive coordinators suddenly have the freedom to bring pressure more aggressively, collapse the interior of the pocket, and force him into uncomfortable throws he would not normally have to make. You can feel how much this is affecting the flow of the offense. Drives stall earlier, third downs feel heavier, longer developing plays have become risky, and the run game becomes predictable when the defense no longer respects the quarterback as a runner. That threat must exist for this system to work the way it was designed. When he keeps those option plays alive, the running backs find lanes that simply aren't there when defenders crash immediately toward the middle. This team has always relied on misdirection, hesitation, and forcing defenders to second-guess themselves. But when the quarterback can't truly play free, the hesitation disappears. On top of that, you have the rhythm of the line collapsing at random times. One play looks clean, the next play a defender breaks through untouched. When the unit can't stabilize, the quarterback ends up taking more punishment, and the injuries continue to stack. It becomes a cycle that feeds on itself. Protection breaks down, the quarterback gets hit. The quarterback becomes more limited, the offense shrinks, drives stall. The defense plays more snaps, and the overall pressure on the team skyrockets. Even when the Ravens win games, the moments of tension are obvious. Some of this instability comes from the constant shifting of personnel. The left tackle has battled injuries all season, The right side has endured bumps and mistakes. The interior has rotated in ways that disrupt continuity. A young player stepping in for only a few snaps here and there cannot build the chemistry needed for a five-man unit to move like one body. Great offensive lines aren't built on talent alone. They depend on trust, communication, and knowing instinctively where your teammate will be in every situation. Right now, the Ravens' offensive line has not reached that point. You see flashes where someone establishes a strong anchor or finishes a block with authority, but the next play looks disconnected. Even in the passing game, where the pressure numbers were low in the previous outing, the lack of consistent run blocking forces the offense into situations where defenses can predict what's coming. That predictability leads to more pressure. Even when the line technically does not allow many direct hits, the real issue has been the run game. It has sputtered for weeks when the ground attack fails to produce steady yardage. The quarterback is forced to drop back more often, and the more he drops back, the more likely the hits come. It becomes the opposite of what this offense is built to be. Instead of controlling the pace, wearing down the opponent, and keeping the quarterback clean through a balanced attack, they have found themselves reacting, adjusting, and scrambling to find rhythm. It is impossible to ignore how much this affects the quarterback mentally too. When you take consistent hits, the clock in your head speeds up. You start searching for the rush instead of scanning the field. Timing with receivers becomes off. Throws become more rushed even when the protection holds. The habit of expecting pressure changes your decision-making. No quarterback plays his best football when he is constantly waiting for contact, and yet, despite all this, he keeps fighting through it. He stays on the field. He competes. He tries to put the team on his back even when his body clearly is asking for a break. That competitiveness has always defined him, but it also puts the Ravens in a tough spot, because they cannot afford to shut him down for multiple games unless things take a drastic turn. They are in a tight playoff race, and every win matters, but at the same time, they know the offense cannot reach its potential if he is never fully healthy. That is the balance they are trying to navigate week to week. This is where the offensive line conversation loops back in. If the coaching staff believes a rotation could ignite improvement, even a small one, they might consider it. They have done it before, even if the results were mixed. And unlike past seasons where they made those decisions out of desperation due to injuries, this time it might be a strategic choice to find the right combination before the most important stretch of games arrives. The rookie who dressed last week but did not play could be part of that experiment. The coaches clearly see something in him, or he wouldn't have jumped ahead of the veteran on the depth chart. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. The air in Baltimore is thick with speculation as whispers around the league hint at a seismic shift in the Ravens' quarterback plans. Sources close to the team suggest that the front office is not content with the status quo and is actively scouting the very top of the elite quarterback market. The word on the street: Baltimore wants a monster player capable of changing the trajectory of the franchise with a single throw, and apparently, they aren't limiting themselves. 5 of the NFL's most talked about signal callers are reportedly on the Ravens' radar, sending fans and pundits alike into a frenzy. The intrigue is only growing as insiders claim that team executives have been spotted at meetings and workouts, all under heavy confidentiality. Speculation has run wild, with names being tossed around that could make even the most seasoned sports reporters double-check their notes. The chatter suggests the Ravens are weighing both established superstars and rising talents who could redefine their offensive identity. Analysts are whispering that Baltimore may be willing to go to extraordinary lengths, trades, draft maneuvering, or cap gymnastics to land the right player. What's fueling the excitement, according to sources, is not just the need for an upgrade, but the desire to send a statement. Baltimore wants a quarterback who commands attention, inspires fear in defenses, and becomes the cornerstone of a new era. Some insiders hint that discussions are not just preliminary. The team has reportedly engaged in discreet conversations with agents and representatives, and the front office is leaving no stone unturned, of course. The nature of these rumors makes it difficult to separate fact from fantasy, but the mere suggestion that 5 elite quarterbacks could be linked to Baltimore has sent social media into a whirlwind. Fans are imagining the possibilities: a new franchise face, a championship-caliber arm, A leader who could cement the Ravens' place among the league's elite as the speculation continues to swirl. One thing is certain: Baltimore's quarterback saga is becoming one of the NFL's most tantalizing stories, and everyone is watching, waiting for the next clue in this developing drama. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.